Good evening. Sorry, we have a little malfunction here, so I'm just going to talk loud. Hopefully you guys can hear me in the back. Welcome to the 2017-2018 NCCS Winter Athletics Awards Ceremony. Normally at this point in time I thank a ton of people, but I thought I would kind of take a different avenue this time. And I'll start with, was that ever a busy postseason? As I raced around the hallways at NCCS this past end of the season, many people stopped me and said, "Hey, how's it going?" And I give them the familiar response that I always say, "It's pretty busy." But this busy was a very welcome busy here at NCCS. Why was it busy, you ask? Here is why. And athletes, when I talk about you, please stand up. Our girls hockey representatives, Amanda Kaye, Haley Letourneau, Taylor Woods, and Leah Coulombe on the Beekmantown Central School hockey team were successful at the sectional level, defeating Saranac Lake Placid, by a score of 1-0, with the lone goal being scored by our own Amanda Kaye. This earned the hockey team a bid to the state Final Four, where they fell to Salmon River in the semis. Stay safe. Our cheering squad extended their amazing run with a sectional championship and represented NCCS at the state championship in the small varsity squad category. The bowling team sent two individuals, Gabe Sisko and Sabrina Fair, to the state championship in bowling. The boys hockey team won their first sectional title since 2008 with a very exciting postseason run with wins over Lake Placid, Beekmantown, and Plattsburgh. They lost in the regional contest, which we hosted here in Ross's Point against Sweet Home, who eventually became the New York State D2 ice hockey champions. A representative of our boys basketball team, Riley Hollister, capped off an amazing career, scoring his 1,000th point during this past season. Last but not least, the girls basketball team capped off an amazing season with a bid to the Final Four at Hudson Valley Community College. Their run consisted of defeating Saranac in the sectional final, Canton in the regional semifinal, and Voorheesville in the regional final. I would like to extend my congratulations to all of these athletes on a great season and notate that we are very proud of how you have represented our NCCS community. I would like to thank all of our school staff that have helped make this past season a success. And even though I say it every time, your support is unwavering, and the athletic department thanks you. The format of this ceremony is I will announce each team, and the coach of that team will come up one at a time. They will then read a summary of their season that they have prepared. While reading the summary, the coach will come down here and we will give out our special award winners. Once we've gone through each team and our awards, the teams will then go to a designated location to finish up the award ceremony. Once you are there, the JV coach will speak first, followed by the varsity coach. I would like to first begin by recognizing, girls, back up, Amanda Kaye, Haley Letourneau, Taylor Woods, and Leah Coulombe, who are members of the girls hockey team who merged with Beekmantown and Shazy. Even though they didn't wear NCCS colors, we will still give them NCCS varsity. First, JV girls basketball, coached by Courtney Courier / Coach Verbaka.
congratulate girls JV basketball on another fantastic season. This year we consisted of 3 sophomores, 4 freshmen, and 2 8th graders. Their sheer willingness to get to the gym and work to get better every day made them a joy to coach. With 4 returning players from last year, these girls worked hard to create new chemistry on and off the floor. Looking back from start to finish, you can see each individual player grow and improve, naturally improving our team as a whole. These young ladies really took the things we focused on in practice and tried to improve upon them each day. We finished the season with some of our best basketball, and at that point, you wish the season wouldn't end. Finishing with an overall record of 17-2, I know the student athletes we have coming back next year are ready to improve even more. I set the bar high for them, and they exceeded my expectations. I'm very proud of them.
The JV girls basketball most improved player is awarded to Chelsea Garing. The JV girls basketball most valuable players are awarded to Brindley LaFountain, Audie Hollister, and Bryn Sample. Girls varsity basketball coached by Rob Guerin.
And yeah, that's me right now.
This year's girls varsity basketball team enjoyed a very successful season. The team won the league championship with a 13-0 record and an overall record of 18-6. The team extended their winning ways into the postseason as they captured the Section 7 championship. From there, many people consider everything else gravy. However, that's a term we chose to not use. We chose not to settle and set our vision onto even higher goals. The girls went on to defeat the Section 2 and Section 10 champions to win a trip to the New York State Final Four. To watch the girls' faces and the wonderful experiences they were provided was the highlight of my season. Our team was ranked number 4 in the state and to me number 1 in character, as they were class acts always and displayed wonderful sportsmanship on and off the court. Other achievements for this year include Caitlin Southwick, honorable mention for CBAC, Abby Racine, second team All-Star CBAC, and Kaya McComb, first team CBAC All-Star. At the Final Four, Kaya McComb received the Sportsmanship Award and Abby Racine received recognition to the All-Tourney team. We are only as good as our parents. We can't thank you enough for your continued support and encouragement throughout the year. The energy and school spirit was unmatched. Thank you to Calvin, Coach Trombley, Coach Robaco, Coach Bodette, Coach Cater, Carrie McComb helping out in the book. Thank you again to all of our families for many special moments you provided for us at the end of the season. Congratulations to all our winter sports teams and your accomplishments. Thank you.
Varsity girls most improved player is awarded to Abby Racine. Varsity girls most valuable player is awarded to Kaya McComb. Varsity boys hockey coached by Coach Fallon, Coach Gravy, Coach Sample, Coach Belly, and Coach Guerin.
With an overall record of 18-5-1, 2017-18 boys hockey teams had an extremely successful year. With high expectations and lofty goals, this team came to the rink day in and day out ready to work hard. This season, our team captured both the Beatontown Holiday Tournament Championship, the Island Memorial Tournament in Alex Bay. Some other key wins this season included high-ranking schools as Rye High School, New Hartford, and Bishop Timmins. We completed our season by capturing the Section 7 championship for the first time in 10 years with a great 4-1 win over Classic High School. The season came to a heartbreaking end with a 3-1 loss in the state regional game to Sweet Home High School out of Section 6. This year we had 3 athletes recognized as CBAC Division II All-Stars. We had Nick Rao as the league MVP, first team All-Star. We had Adam DeLucci, first team All-Star defenseman. And we had Brady LaFountain as an honorable mention. Throughout the season, the team represented our school not only inside the classroom, on the ice, but also in the community. The coaching staff would like to thank our 12 seniors for all the hard work and leadership on and off the ice for the past 4 years. We would also like to thank parents, school members, and community for your continued support this season. Thank you.
The Varsity Hockey Coaches Award is given to Ethan Guerin. Parades back up there. Varsity Hockey Most Valuable Players are awarded to Nick Rao, Brady LaFountain, Adam DeLucci, and Bailey Lombard. JV Boys Basketball coached by Coach Cater.
It's my first time doing this, so Mr. Trombley really killed the mojo here, because I was ready to speak. We had a league record of 3-11, overall record 5-14. Past 2 seasons I coached modified, first year doing JV, so quite the adjustment, but we all learned very quickly. From the first practice to the last game, I had 8 players that came every single day with a mission to get better as basketball players. And I can guarantee you they most certainly worked hard to achieve that goal. By the end of the season, small little recap, we senior night against Saranac, we went from losing to them by 30 to a nail-biting loss by 2. So that just goes to show you the amount of work that they put in during the whole entire season. And a big shout out to the parents as well. For those that do not know, I often have probably the craziest schedule of all winter sports seasons, from 7 a.m. practices on Saturdays and winter break, to my college schedule, and then Sunday open gyms. So a big thank you for providing transportation and being a great support there. Congratulations to all the other team's accomplishments this year. Thank you to Mr. Trombley for organizing this event, and the Booster Club for all you do for athletics. And the biggest thank you goes to the support here tonight. Really goes to show you what we have for the Cougar community here.
JV Boys Basketball Most Improved Player is awarded to James Malinsky.
Yeah, James.
JV Boys Most Valuable Player awarded to Thomas Yellow. Varsity Boys Basketball coached by Coach Luke Connell.
echo Adam there, or Coach Cater. It is a new season for me as well. Lots of new. I've only had a few years of coaching under my belt as well, so a lot of learning to go around. The players, also new for them, having a different voice to listen to for such a long time. So a lot of new this season. Lots of ups and downs, especially with such a young team. Only having one senior and two juniors. Most teams on a varsity level for boys usually have juniors and seniors, so a lot to learn from there. One thing I'm especially proud of, though, is that even with the tough losses we had this season and how tough it could have been this season, we still received the Ray Holmes Sportsmanship Award, which says a lot because some of the losses were pretty tough. So, it's important to me that they show that they're more than just players. They're growing as people too. Also, a big shout out to Riley, 1,000 points and first team All-Star, huge, very awesome. And I also want to thank the parents for supporting and transporting their players to my practices. Again, I had a pretty flexible practice schedule, so I want to thank them all for always helping out. And congratulations to all the other teams.
Varsity boys basketball most improved player is awarded to Spencer Trudeau. Varsity boys basketball most valuable player is awarded to Riley Hollister. For the speech you have all been waiting for, varsity bowling coached by Coach and Coach Kieran. You needed a good intro.
My speech was so long that the district didn't have enough paper, so I thought I would save a couple dollars and just go off the cuff. The bowling team had an excellent season this year. The kids worked very hard, set some goals, met and exceeded our goals. We had 2 people go to states, which was a good accomplishment for a lack of numbers. We had low numbers again. I would like to thank the parents for coming down when your home games are in Plattsburgh. It's a little more difficult than just showing up at the school. So the parents were phenomenal about coming down and meeting with the kids and supporting them. I'd like to thank the kids for their efforts. They put in all the work, do the things you ask them to do, and meet the success that they need. I'd like to thank Mr. Trombley for the work that he does. It's a thankless job, and there's a ton of time that goes into that. And so recognize him. And thanks to Calvin, who over there taping us and listening to these phenomenal speeches tonight. Calvin goes all over the place. He's at our matches. He goes from our matches to everybody else's games. So we appreciate the efforts that he's done, does on behalf of all of our student athletes. Thank you, Calvin. And thank you for coming tonight.
Girls' most improved bowler is Cassidy Nixon. Girls' most valuable bowler is Sabrina Fair. Boys' most improved bowler is Greg Delisle. Boys' most valuable bowler is Gabe Sisko. Varsity cheerleading, coached by Coach Sarah Hunter and Stephanie Gaudet.
So I say it every year, cheerleading is not like every other sport. We don't have a season full of, records or anything. We spend the entire year building up to maybe 3 or 4 competitions. This year, I had 18 on my team with 16 competing. The 2 that did not compete played huge roles with my team and took care of doing the music and just being a huge support. I had first place, small varsity Division II at CVACs. We took third place at Scotia Glenville, which is an improvement from last year's last place. And we made an appearance at States in Syracuse at the beginning of March. I do want to recognize that this year, for the first time, CVAC has recognized All-Stars for cheerleading, which include Tabitha Parent, Justice Brassard, Haley Sheehan, Miranda White, and Skylin Thompson. I want to give a special thanks to my team. It was a rough year of injuries and illness. At one point, we had 8 out of the 16 all homesick with the flu. Several black eyes, mine included. Thank you to our foreign exchange student. I want to give a special recognition to our foreign exchange student, Sarah Louise. She came on the team and actually played a huge role in the competition team, so thank you, Sarah. Special thank you to Justice Brassard and Emily Guire for stepping up and creating the dance routine for the competition. I know that some people really liked it. Rob had to see it many times in practice, and I appreciate and thank the varsity team for their support through the entire season. I want to give a special thanks to all these basketball teams that put up with sharing their gym with us. This year was exceptionally hard with finding gym space, and thank you for not complaining and willingly giving up the space. It makes my life a lot easier, and theirs. Finally, I would like to thank all the parents for their patience in the cheer chaos and getting their kids to states and supporting us. Without you, it would not happen.
The varsity cheerleading most improved cheerleader is awarded to Amy Visconti. Varsity cheerleading most valuable cheerleader is awarded to Sam Disco. In speaking with a coach today, I'm sure that some of you are very aware of scholar athlete teams and scholar athletes, and I guess in my discussion with this coach, I probably did not do a great job in explaining that there was a change in how New York State recognizes scholar athletes. So I'm going to do a little rundown for you so you can really understand the gravity of the situation of the athletes that I'm about to call up front. The New York State Public High School Athletic Association has changed the standards in the sense of 75% of your team. So if you have 10 people on your team, you have to take 8 of their averages, and if you average them together and it's above a 90, then they are deemed a scholar athlete team. Not only do they do that, any athlete that receives a 90 or above average during their sports season is recognized as a scholar athlete. So if your team is not a scholar athlete team, you can still be recognized for your duty to get good grades in the classroom. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to announce all of the scholar athlete teams as well as the scholar athletes themselves. I ask that the scholar athlete teams remain seated, but when I call the scholar athletes, please come down to the front to receive your scholar athlete pin. When you're up here, I'm going to as well announce the fall scholar athletes because I did not have those pins at that point in time, and I will be giving those out as well. If you got both of them, then stay up here and you get to be recognized twice. So the scholar athlete teams include girls basketball, girls bowling, and cheerleading. For the Winter Scholar athletes, boys basketball, Alex Gomez, Braden Racine, and Ian O'Donnell. Girls basketball, Gabby Dumas, Sydney Hunter, Kaya McComb, Abby Racine, Marley Sample, Caitlin Southwick. Bowling, Lauren Munson, Cassidy Nixon, Gregory Delisle, Gabe Cisco. Cheerleading, Gina Bogdazaroff, Sam Disco, Tabitha Parent, Tara Pupor, Emily Stiles, Skylyn Thompson, Amy Visconti. Hockey, Noah Gagno, Adam Bellucci, Alex Richard, Bailey LeBombard, and Michael Pennington. All right, so we got a lot of confident people up here. If you believe that you, just stay up here. No, just stay up here. After I announce the fall, if I did not announce your name, then you can go at that point in time. If you are out in the crowd and you are announced, come on down. Luke McDougall, Ian O'Donnell, Justin Pennington, Michael Pennington, Chase Ross, Maggie LaFountain, Kaya McComb, Caitlin Southwick, Gabby Dumas, Natalie Rao, Lizzie Roberts, Arlie LaFountain, Marley Sample, Riley Passano, Paige Laterno, M. Dwyer, Abby Racine, Gina Bogdazaroff, Sam Disco, Hannah Hemingway, Sydney Hunter, Olivia Kulovich, Ashley Manette, Leona Turner, Allison LaPointe, Skylyn Thompson, and that is it. So let's give them a round of applause. The last award for tonight is the John J. Gerber All-Academic Award. This award is given every sports season to 2 individuals that have excelled in the classroom while being a part of an athletic team. They will each receive a patch and a certificate. The recipients of the John J. Gerber All-Academic Award are Adam Bellucci and M. Stiles. I will now read the locations that you will go to finish the award ceremony. Varsity bowling will go to the library, hockey will stay here in the auditorium, girls basketball will go to the high school gym, cheerleading will go to the middle school cafeteria, and boys basketball will go to the high school cafeteria. Thank you for coming.
I say it every year, but the seasons do go by faster and faster every year. This season, the girls saw a few more Saturdays off than most, with having my wedding in the middle of the season, but I can't thank them enough for being flexible with me And quite frankly, I think that they like having the extra set of minutes off. The favorite part of my job as a coach is getting to know these young athletes, and they were an absolute pleasure to coach, and that is attributed to you parents. We're so lucky to have such great kids in the whole program. Looking back at our season, we took each game, win or loss, as an opportunity to get better. We found ourselves in a little bit of a rut in the middle of the season, but it was through hard work and many conversations that allowed us to finish our season on a high note. It's the loss in the 7-10 challenge and our battles against Peru where we learned the most. We played a high-level, fast-paced game and made a few mistakes, but learning from those mistakes made us a stronger team. I always tell them, basketball is not a game you play between the lines. It's a life lesson. It's experiences you will take with you forever. It's experiences you will take with you on your first job interview. And most importantly, it creates experiences that teach you how to react when you don't get your way and how to react when things are difficult. And certainly they do nothing better than me. And I can only hope that they respect that and let it help shape their future. I'm proud to say that the basketball experiences and memories that I've had in my life have helped shape who I am today. I know at times they may come home and told you how hard I am on them, how much I yell, and that coach is nitpicky about the littlest things. I did the same thing this year, and I will continue to do throughout my career. I spend a great amount of time evaluating their skills and developing our practices around ways to get them better. One of my number one goals, and this will always be one of my goals, is to be sure that each student athlete can look back at their season and feel that they've gotten better. I push them every day to achieve that goal. Now for my most improved player. I know that I don't have to explain myself, but I think that it's well deserved. The reasons for choosing Chelsea. She has grown tremendously on and off the floor. She matured into a vocal leader and made her presence known on the floor. If we can keep her from getting injured, and she improves as rapidly as she did this year, you will see a young lady have a very strong future. Don't make me cry. My MVPs, Bryn, Brinley, and Audie. These three girls rarely left the floor. And that tells you a lot about their skills. When you have three girls that you have a hard time, or that you need to keep on the floor, they rarely got into foul trouble. You know, they did those things so they could stay on the floor. These three shared the leading scorer role throughout the year. These girls pushed each other in practice and made the players around them stronger, the true role of an MVP. I put a lot of pressure on these three girls, and they flourished. As we officially can say basketball is wrapped up, I can say this year was one of my favorites. Girls, you know how to reach me, and if you need anything or just want to practice your jump shot, give me a call. Have a wonderful spring, and hopefully we'll see you at basketball.
At this time, we'll recognize the girls varsity. I'm going to ask you to come over just because there's additional items that I have to give to you. I want to make sure you get a good spot. Gabby Dumas. Grace Dumas. Holly Hicks. Caitlin Holden. Sydney Hunter. I get so excited for the bars. Kaya McComb. Abby Racine. Marley Sample. Amy Southwood. Emily Royer, who's not with us this evening, she's going to checking out of college right in Pennsylvania. And Jasmine Lucia, who came back today but unfortunately was ill last evening, so missed a very special night, but I found her today. As far as the girls varsity basketball team this season, we definitely set out at the beginning of the year. We started off with our individual goal cards, and what that is I task every player, I want to know what they wish to reach as an individual player as well as a team. I held on to those cards, and it was a common theme at the very beginning. There was one school that I was like, where, I'm thinking, are you looking to get to a sectional championship, whatever? That's all the common theme was, as long as we beat Beekmantown. So it got to an area where I was just thinking, this is their ultimate goal. Where do you start and where do you go from here? And then we realized that when success continued to happen, the best thing that ever happened, and always, is making sure that even the greatest have to fall sometimes. During our week over Christmas break against Malone and Messina, I thought we went from a 3-0 varsity team to that I was coaching a 5th and 6th grade team, depending on how we looked, as well as some other areas of Section 10 that I won't get into. And then we played Rice. And the one thing I continued saying as I share with the Press Republican, that moment on, myself as a coach, is when I saw we transitioned into a new ball club. We went down to Rice, and again, that's a recruiting private school. We lost by about 36 points the first time, and we lost by 16 points the second time. And that was only about 2.5 weeks later. And since that moment on December 29th, we did not lose another game until our final game at the Final Four. That's quite an accomplishment in a very, very long time period of focusing on success. During that time, we also shared together what we need to have for common goals as far as team building. Chemistry, unbelievable. We started off every Saturday, and thank you to the parents we decided to have it called basically like Snack Saturday. And we practiced hard, and we had our little treats. And then I didn't realize that as the treats were going to just keep coming for the rest of the season. And a lot of out to eats, I guess I should say, more than I probably have in the last 5 years. But food is good, and we learn it brings people together. And going through, I told them that on November 8th, you have to believe in me and you have to believe in the vision where we want to go. And that took a risk, especially with myself being in the boys program forever, coming over to the girls program. And when we continued playing game after game after game, and they started hearing, I said, I want the same mission, the same vision where we talked about our boys program. And the Northeastern Clinic talked about our defense. And then they didn't have to hear it from me, they heard it from the outside. They heard it from fellow teams, fellow coaches. And we just continued to blossom into a very, very active, moving, causing a lot of problems defensively for other teams. We knew offensively from day one, the offensive end we would struggle. We called that out in November, December. But as our game continued to improve on defense, it always transitioned to a pretty decent offense and really getting to running the floor. The girls brought back a lot of spark for me. When I first entered the boys program, I was able to coach players that I started off with in 8th grade and transitioned to off-season tournaments, very involved families, a lot of support and encouragement, people doing their jobs every day when the bell sounds and when the bell sounds at the end of the day. The last 3 or 4 years, I always felt like it is. I was doing a lot of parenting in addition to coaching. And it was very, very refreshing this year to know that we had people so highly involved and positive and supportive, came in, do my job, feeling successful during the day, and looking so forward to seeing my team in the evening. And while we still did our life lessons and our campfire chats, because when the day's done, basketball is great, but planning for a future and what you need to do to be successful in the future is most important. We have a lot of those conversations, and I love the chemistry and the support that they give to each other. For those that are not at the varsity level, at the end of our season, it's, I said it was the highlight of my season to watch them get treated like celebrities getting into that hotel. From the officials to what a court like that looks like, what it sounds like, the atmosphere, to know that out of close to 400 Class B schools, we make it to a Final Four is quite an accomplishment. And one that was definitely never into our dreaming session. And it's okay, we continue talking about dreaming big. And when we dream big, we can believe, and we continue talking about, probably the one that I had to always continue to talk about believing was Sydney whenever it came to running. We come to a practice, and they know my favorite end line, and she just continued to have the same directed in season coach. She just know I don't do that. But we got her there. And that's the good part, is they know the spark when to be funny. They know the spark when it's also time to work. I will say, though, we've had some life lessons at the beginning of the year, because I've never seen a group, when you win a game, they want to celebrate for a half hour until the next practice. Instead of the game, it's like, girls, you have another game tomorrow. But we learned that we do have a lot of celebrations and a lot of food parties. As far as the most improved, Abby as a freshman, on the court in November, and at the second game of the season in December, I remember talking to her dad, Alan, and saying, if Abby talks about me a lot at home, about me yelling at her, I'm just telling you it does happen every day. And so we just want to tell you up front how it's going to continue happening. And that's where it starts off, because it starts with coach and parent. Not of, oh my goodness, I can't believe, or oh my goodness, so mean, or oh my goodness, this one gets more. It's about understanding that a coach's job is to get the best out of their players. I started off with Abby in November and December. Every time I talked to her or spoke with my voice to her, in November, December, it was more of the poor me look. And we got rid of that. She learned quickly that wasn't going to work with me. And Abby became a very, very solid competitor. A very solid competitor as an unbelievable senior year. And I'm looking for much more out of her in the next 3 years to come. She's definitely put a good trend. And to have a statement like that and to state play and things like that, wonderful. Kaya, most valuable player of our team. Face the facts. We want to get the ball off the floor. We knew who we needed to have to get the ball off the floor for us. She allowed players around her to get better. Kaya needs to improve, as I always tell her, on her voice of leadership. I know that's not an easy thing for her, but I don't understand why she can't, because when she's around me, she does not zip up for 2 seconds. But I just want her to carry that onto the court and continue that encouragement, because she has a great future. We're looking forward to her 2 years ahead. Honorable mention by the CVAC coaches, Kate Southwood. Kate, offensive end, is me telling her just about every game when she's open and can count to 10 and shoot the ball. But most importantly, Kate brought a great spark to our defense, and she loved to live to play that defense. Gracie coming on new to the team in JV, always in a positive attitude, always going, love to pick at her, it's always fun. The only thing I had to learn, that every time we had a gathering, it seemed like Gracie had to watch us eat instead of being able to eat, so I celebrated with some Oreo cookies for her. But Gracie gives you everything she has at practice. Gabby, never know whether how the day is going to be at school. She's ready to work. Some days she's one of those that wants to celebrate for an hour and a half of practice, and so on. But a very, very good positive energy she brings to her team, and definitely valuable at the end of the season, because always thinking of her team first, and really a very, very good cheerleader, and the actually need that definite support. Sydney's very first thing is she's got to realize that with hard work, it's going to become a much stronger ball player. She definitely has the capability in her to do so. Lou, scrappy, loves defensive end, had a very good, game's all about confidence. She went through a period of time, 7-8 games. I think the other coaches were paying her to play for them instead of me, as the ball kept going over to the other side and turnovers. And I will tell you, she was so critical to the end of our postseason. She got that confidence back, just like I saw at the beginning of the season, and she just knew it. Yes, we know we're always going to have those turnovers, but she has no fear, no matter how big somebody is. And she was definitely valuable in those areas at the end. Kate, again, great thing about the defense. Marley, freshman. Marley took some time to adapt, as understandable as a freshman would be. Same thing, games right on, other games not as much. It's going to happen with that youth and experience, but to get into a big stage like that as a freshman is again going to only show the continued improvement that she wishes to see. Hallie, I see as everybody's player. Hallie comes in, Hallie and I have found always from immediate a very good connection with each other. Very good at encouraging her teammates, always with a smile, always understanding her role, and just very pleased to be part of the team, and a very good supporter. What I always tell them is, it doesn't matter the amount of time you play. What really matters is that you understand that each and every one will bring a different puzzle piece to make a very perfect puzzle. And if some people during those high quality games at the end got less time, it doesn't matter. They're working their bottoms off to make everybody on this team better, and understanding that they have a role in that team. Parents, again, I'm going to continue saying, as what I said before, you brought something back to me that was missing for a period of time. We only can go places when we have people that are #1 cheerleaders. To watch the girls' energy and excitement from parent energy, like yesterday we got off the, whatever it was called, the Lazway big bus, I don't know what it's called. We go through and, watching everybody tape, and I'm like, really? It's like, I feel like we're going to our first day of kindergarten again, all over. And just as I imagined to share with the girls, just the excitement was amazing, and it wanted us going more. We talked about keeping our chapter book. It was a very special book that the girls created this year, representing their school community. And that every time we did something well, we talked about adding a new chapter and not wanting the book to end. The book still doesn't end. There may be new characters in the book, but boy, they've created a very special book that we hope continues for great times at Northeastern Play. The one thing I'll continue saying is the off-season is critical. My goals for the head for returning players would be a few off-season tournaments, some gym time, even if it's once a week in the summer. Weight training is critical to enhance athletic performance in the off-season. And I know presently they've been in, some have attended the Seton League. I'm looking into trying to see if I can team up with a school around the Burlington BFA area to see if we can do a couple play dates in the summer with them. We got to play against a lot better to get better. That's what we got to continue our focus. It's not about the almighty L that may happen off a good team. Those almighty L's like the Rice got us to where we needed to be. And those are the types of competition we have to. So again, thank you to the girls. I've had a great season. The poster's already up in my office. And who did that? Who do I have to say thank you to?
Next year, and then Joe worked out the sign community get for us and actually delivered it.
So Julie Rao and the Sun or Suni lady for doing that poster. It was just unbelievable, and it's all those little things that we love to remember. So on a bad day, and I was having one today, I went and looked at the 11 bright shining stars that someday may drive me crazy some days, but you know what? It is exactly why we come here every day to do it. So, and a special thanks to Coach Rabacco too, welcoming me into the program. I thought it was a very good, tight partnership. We had very common philosophies, and definitely after her postseason was done, she didn't look at it as my team's done. She was there with our girls, seeing it as a program, and seeing us right up to the end. So I definitely appreciate that, as well as Coach Bodette, Coach Gator as well. So thank you to everybody, and thank
Congratulations, Coach of the Year.
My team, some of them that I had 4 minutes because they were hungry. I'm sorry it was a little longer, but you can go home.
Thank you.
Hey, what happened to our regional?
Yeah, we had regional.
We probably left them at your hotel.
All those certificates?
Yeah.
I have them. See, I always give them a chance to go, and then they never want to.
16.
Before we go, we have a little something for Angel. We would like to thank you for always leaving little encouraging notes in our locker room. And we cannot thank you enough, so this is from myself and the team.
Thank you, girls. And thank you, all of you. These girls are what they are because of you. So thank you for being a fantastic parent for them. I apologize for that. Thank you.